Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Final stream of the week, guys. Hope you're all having a good week so far on the charts. Welcome to Friday's edition of the London session. And guys, without further ado, it is time to get this show on the road. So guys, as always, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where you are around the world. Hope you are all doing well. Obviously a lot going on. There's a heap going on away from the markets, which is obviously having an impact on the markets. We'll have a little bit of a discussion about all that moving forward. Anyway, what we do need to do is check out what if any scheduled news there is for our session here today. So nothing scheduled for our session, but obviously with a lot going on around the world, anything could happen at any time. Obviously there's some high impact news to come later on for the US dollar, which is a couple of hours into the NY Open to be a little bit weary of. However, a lot more serious issues going on around the world at the minute, and obviously impacting the markets. As we can see, US oil has absolutely pumped. And we'll continue bullish, to be honest, off just fundamentally. But anyway, then we can have a little bit of a discussion about things moving forward. Meantime, guys, we are here to analyze the charts, and that's what we do best, and that's what we will continue to do. So guys, if you could, make sure, don't forget YouTube, please smash that like button. TikTok, don't forget to smash that screen for me. And let's get started, guys. Let's get started with the analysis. Also, if you do have questions or any charts or any pairs you'd like me to look at, pop those into the chat and I will get to those promptly. But without further ado, let's get cracking, guys, and let's have a look at gold. So looking at the weekly time frame here on gold, and what we can see is we are obviously forming a very strong bullish candle. So off the back of that, I am more inclined to look for options to take a buy upon either a pullback to some previous point of support within this current candle, or potentially above the current candle's high. At that point there is a really good chance that we may even retest the all-time high and create a new all-time high back at 3,500 level. So much for it being bearish, eh? Onto the daily, and what we can see is structure is bullish, and on probabilities is bullish. Still a bit tapped into the resistance, and we are so far rejecting it. So definitely a key level that we're currently at. Once again, I'm going to see if we do have any sort of catalyst to perhaps sell it, seeing we are at that key level. We will find out shortly in the 30 whether we do or not, in regards to perhaps a structure flip, which could give us a potential signal for some sort of correction here. Onto the 4-hour time frame, and what we can see is, well, structurally also it's bullish, but we did close back pretty much a doji candle, but albeit weak bearish. The back of that, we were to pick in a break low of the previous candle. Once again, we'll see if and what sort of catalyst we may have as price begins to approach that candle's low. So structurally we are bullish, and what we're going to do is just mark in some levels of resistance. So we're going to mark in that level there, and we'll also mark in support. Most recent support is back here at 37.80 roughly, so a fair distance off that. Now on to the 30-minute time frame here, and what we can see is, guys, so we're tapping into that 4-hour resistance. I'm actually just going to remove this for the time being, and I'm going to mark in some levels more around the current price action. So what we can see is, so I'm just going to mark in the high again, mark in that level there. What we can see is we're just consolidating on the M30 currently. I'm just going to mark in this level here. Quickly back to the 4-hour. So I'll mark that in blue, so it's a minor support, and we'll make our way onto the 15-minute time frame to mark in a level of resistance. And what we can see, guys, is we have some very clean traffic back up to the current daily count high above this 34.30 regions. Off the back of that, if price was to begin to pop above that point there, all I am to do is await a price action catalyst such as a closure above, next counter pull back, tap back in, and look for a potential buy option and take it back up towards the daily high. That would be a high probability move, and that is something I would definitely look to take an entry based on. Now, having said that, 4 hour, to be honest, on a Friday, I'm usually only about trading with the direction of the weekly candle. But the fact that we're at that high time frame resistance here, and the 4-hour candle did close back bearish, and we are, since we have created, you could argue, a low, lower high, lower low, we ought to respect the current resistance here at that 34.30 sort of region, begin to pop below the support formed here at 34.18. I may contemplate a sell option counter trend. It would have to be extremely low risk, guys. Would definitely not consider going a full risk. That being said, it is a Friday, so I don't usually go full risk either way, but it would have to be definitely low risk, seeing it is very counter trend. And that is my opinion of the gold right now. Currently we're just consolidating, so for me the current range, there is no option to trade it. I just rather wait for it to pop above or below for in my opinion, more probable entry. So hopefully that made sense, guys. If it did, make sure to react by smashing the screen for me on TikTok and YouTube. Make sure to hit the like button. And let's have a look at the GJ. All right, on to GJ, and looking at the weekly, and wow, strong bearish candle. So off the back of that, again, I'm more likely going to be looking for sell options unless we are at a support here on a daily or 4-hour, unless we're flipping maybe some structure on the 30-minute time frame. So strong bearish in the weekly. Daily, still respecting if you were to draw in a trend line, not that I do use them, but looks like we would have tapped into it. We do have a lower high, lower low. Structure is bullish, but I'm more concerned by the candles themselves. And we have a lower high, lower low. So based off that, I could look for potential levels price could pull back to within the current daily candle. Need form resistance below and continue down to retest the low, potentially creating a lower low. However, those levels of resistance also may provide potential entry points to the upside if in fact we do have a catalyst such as the 30-minute time frame being bullish. Onto the 4-hour time frame here, and what we can see is structurally we still remain bearish here on the 4-hour. As far as support, this is obviously the most recent. Looks like we've got a little bit of margin to the downside if we begin to pop below the current daily candles low. Most recent resistance, and that is the level also where structural flip back bullish here on the 4-hour. And on the 30, all right, so nothing here on the 30 in regards to any price action catalyst to look for buys. Reason being is the 30-minute structure will not flip back bullish at this point until the exact same point in the 4-hour will, which is above 195.60. So off the back of that, what I'm likely going to be looking for, guys, is options to take a sell. I'm just going to need in this zone up. I'll use that based off 30 and the lowest point of any candle, a bullish candle here on the 15 or 30 or 4-hour. So for me on GJ, sells below. I just need to await a closure below the 15-minute and 30-minute support, back below the daily low. We do begin to approach the daily candles low. Again, we've got some pretty clean traffic still to the downside, so I definitely look for continuation sells off the back of that. So that will look something like, like so. For the sells, I'll mark in a level of resistance just there. Whoops, there's my little man. Cheeky little boy is a good boy. All right, I'll mark that level in just there. I'll change it to blue. It's a minor zone. And what we will be looking for, once again, we're not, see the thing is here on GJ, I believe we could still continue down before we make a bit of a reversal. Not quite tapped into the support lower down here at 193.50 to 193 flat. So off the back of that, I would really prefer to avoid looking for counter trend buys and either wait for price to either retest and reject 194.50 and look for an option to take a sell back down. Or in fact, if it does begin to pop above, just look for sells from higher up. That's pretty much what I'll be looking at here on GJ today. I'm favoring the sells. I'm gonna stick with the buys here on GJ. And that is my plan, ladies and gents. Make of that what you will. Gold. Okay, interesting. Wow, 15-minute engulfing liquidity candle potential option here. Now stop loss is huge. Stop loss is over 100 pips, which is something I'm not happy to go in with, to be honest. First of all, it needs to close below. Counter trend has to close below when it's counter trend. So let's just keep a bit of an eye on it. And before I get to you guys in the chat, we've got 10 seconds right now. Has to close below. Remembering we are in a big strong uptrend, so counter trend has to be absolutely perfect, and it's not closing below. All right, so we'll move on. In the meantime, hope you guys have had a good week. Let me know in the chat. Tell me how your week has been. For me, we caught a cracking trade with the members yesterday. Called live on a call with the members on a gold buy limit order, which I ended up securing the half of my position at 100 pips, half at 20, half at 100. And it was a quick one. Once it got moving, it was a cracking trade. It really made my week. And it was just a small entry because it was a more risky entry. I had 2 entries set actually. Second one just didn't get triggered in. I got within about, I think about 10 pips of triggering that second limit order in, but just didn't quite tap in. That was here yesterday. Had a limit order there, which obviously got triggered in. I also had a limit order back at what was the 30-minute pause. So on the interruption play that you hear me talk about, I placed 2 orders, got triggered in on the first one. Didn't quite get the second one, but ended up securing the bag at 100. So it's a nice win. So it's been a good week. All right, ladies, gents, Franco, Kyle, Lau, Franco again. Yep, let me turn down music, apologies. And on to you guys on TikTok, the Tickety Talk. Thank you to the 3 new followers. Hopefully there'll be a few more shortly. So let's wait here on gold. Will we get the 15-minute closure below? Remembering it's counter trend, so when it is counter trend, could easily just create a little bit of a higher low and then pop back up. So I definitely want it to be really strong. Not much of an upper wick here as well. So happy to just let it do its thing and wait for a quality entry on my terms, to be honest. What's it gonna do? That's right, say good day to you guys on TikTok. All right, let me sift through. I missed anything? Here we go. Chris, good morning to you, mate. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that reminds me. My members, let me set that up for you now. Oh, gold's melting. So there's probably quite a few in it. That's all right. All good. I hope you, if you are in it, manage your trade. Make sure you're not going to take a loss. Pulling back. So obviously there's been a lot going on today, which would have likely, if I would have thought, and it did actually lift gold, hurdle it towards its all-time high yet again. There's been a strength in the US dollar as well, so US dollar being considered yet again a bit of a safe haven. So I'm pretty sure if we check the DXY, it may have bounced a little bit off the back of what's been going on. Yeah, so a bit of a retracement on the DXY here. Is it going to be short-lived though? All right, back to TikTok. Tobias, German 40 buy. I'll have a look at in a second. Nick trades around striking back. Why is gold going down? Yeah, I know it's a little bit confusing. I agree. For brilliant, maybe up, maybe down. Finally back, black or red. Pretty much, yeah. You need to be fluid in the markets. You need to have a plan for both. Usually on a Friday, I'm very strict on trading with the strength of the weekly candle. So that's why I'm very hesitant to counter trend trade gold at the minute. But the fact of the matter is, as a scalper, you need to be fluid in the market. You need to have options in either direction. If you're a swing trader, you can have more of a bias. Gold trader charts mean nothing today, just follow news. Charts for where prices happen, not where the markets are going. It trades only things daily resistance at that level. Yep, that's a good reason why it could be also rejecting a bit. Gold trade, yeah, longs low. Yeah, I was in longs, but my position was 10 minutes for 100 pips, and that was cracking trade. Coffee, yes, Sue FX. Welcome to you. Just waiting to sell. Okay, nice one. Arnold, 20 million lots. I'm just kidding. It's irrelevant what lot sizes I'm using. It should not concern any of you. Like I've mentioned, it's enough to see some significant returns, but it's all, and enough to see some decent losses if I'm not careful as well. But it's nothing huge. It's not like, you know, I'm not trading like 10, 20 lots or anything like that. I'll trade next trades buy TP 3380. Buy with TP sell 3480. Alright guys, so what's GJ up to? Did send a link tonight, yep. Guys on TikTok, just be careful. There's a daft punk who is trying to once again interpretate me. The dumbass has forgot to change his username though. He's using my profile and the name of my profile, but his actual @name is different. So it's really obvious to tell who it is. My name's Justin. His name isn't. It says something else. I think it's Callum something. Don't fall for it, guys. I follow one account and it's got nothing to do with trading that account, nor is it a young lady dancing with next to nothing on. I've just followed literally one account, and I've got a lot more followers than they do, so just be careful, guys. If anyone contacts you, yet again, it's not me. Definitely not me. I never ever initiate contact. All right, could we potentially look for a 30 limit, 30 on the 30-minute time frame? A limit order sell here. Well, are we coming from consolidation? Pretty much are. Been a bit mid for me this week, Carl. Yeah, it's been look, I've had 3 trades, 2 wins and 1 loss. The trade on stream early in the week was a win, good win. Yesterday's trade, albeit a small position, was a cracking win because I ended up securing half of the position at 100 pips. Account is 10 million and 100% that's 10 million. Monday. Depending on currency, yeah, Zimbabwean dollar, whatever it is, it's probably like, I don't know, 10 million's like nothing, is it? I think it's like $1 or something. 10 million. Franco GU. Yep, below support. Sorry, I'm being lazy. I should remove all the drawings here. Yeah, the closest below. Yep. Alright, London Open coming shortly. So let's see where we're at. Could we just grab some liquidity from the downside to push back up Robbo, thank you for sharing live. Zed closed to bottom trend line. Yep, I mentioned that before, not a huge trend lines, but was that GJ? Sorry, that was GJ, I think. Yeah, fair enough. Sumo's good showing till 33.84. Careful with it. I mean, it's a good, I'm not saying it's a bad target, it's a very realistic target, but remembering we are on a big strong uptrend, so it could just create the higher low just now and pop back up. So I'd still preference the buys here, guys. Again, I'm more concerned by the weekly candle. At this rate, I feel the weekly is more likely to close strong bullish. So I'd rather trade in line with the strength of that candle, and that's just from experience on the charts of more than 8 years. When I used to come to the charts on Friday and not really pay any attention to the weekly and just pure price action, not even worried about structure and all that, I used to get wrecked a fair bit and realize it was because I was trading against, especially if it's a very strong candle, the direction of the weekly candle. So that's why I'm very strict with it. And once again, it's because I know when I'll get a trade, there is a very high probability it's going to be a win. So just trade in line with your strengths. That's trading in line with the strength of the weekly on a Friday. That's what you do. Gold Trav, same view as yesterday. Next 100 up, next 10, 20. I don't have a clue. Okay, fair enough. Is that loading up? Zingy Nation, the buyer are stepping in once the price closed above 34.18. We buy. So the target emoji, what do you think? Bearish, bullish for GJ? Bearish. Definitely bearish. It's in a pretty strong downtrend throughout the week. The bias is to the downside now, so I'd definitely preference the sells. We'll give you guys the option if it does present in a fashion that I believe will be a decent buy opportunity, and that would have to be above this resistance if anything. So gold popping back up now, so it's, yeah, maybe it's just grabbing liquidity in order to make a move back up. Remember, we got session open, so we'll see how the markets filter in all the news that's been going on. I mean, who knows what to think of it. I don't want to get too political here, but I'm a contrarian. I don't believe shit that comes out of the media. Nothing. So there is a lot more to it. There is so much more to it. But eventually things will come out. Franco, good day to you. What's happening, man?
Good morning, Justin. How are you?
All good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, also thank you very much. So, is there some news? Maybe did I miss something?
There's plenty of news, mate. So
on financial juice?
No, well, Israel and Iran are at it at the minute. So okay. Yeah, so that's why gold obviously shot up during the day. Silver was another one, but it's popped back down. The US dollar. So that's why the majors are losing a bit of steam. And gold, that's why I'm hesitant to sell it unless it's perfect.
I was looking on some geo cells, but right now.
Yep, popping back up.
It's not there.
Yeah, it could just be grabbing liquidity in order to eventually come back down. Perhaps.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
we're not anticipating that. We're going to wait to see if it happens, but
yeah, for taking some buys, we need to close more above.
Yeah, and way away from the buys, I believe.
Yeah.
Wait and see. Coming to London Open though now, guys. Gold popping back up. Nick trades, good knowledge, wise man, thank you. Oh, shouldn't you not be trained today to do Iran news announcement today as I mentor and profitable? Why should that impact it? Again, we react to what we see on the charts as we react to what the charts are telling us. Based on our analysis, we wait for a confirmation. I mean, if you're gonna be like that, then it's not a conflict that's gonna last one day, obviously. So I mean, ever since Trump has been in government back the first time, the markets were crazy volatile. It's the same thing now. We've got London open now, guys, so we're closing just below. It's a shit closure. There is nothing there. GJ also below, still nothing. So we'll wait. We'll see if we start to pop back up. Yeah, so off the back of that, as a mentor and as a consistent, competent trader, it's my responsibility to be aware that things could be a little bit volatile. And again, preach patience and discipline, following your plan. And I preach that every day on stream. I preach it every day to my members, and I display, whether it be on this call or away from this call with the team, what is the likely probable outcome when you do stick to your plan. And that happened yesterday, and that's where I copped 100, well, caught 100 pip move with the team who were on the call, and some did take it as well. Well, the ones on the call took it. So again, it should not impact me in regards to making it if I'm going to trade or not. If it presents, I will take a trade. If it doesn't present, it's just like any other day. King Nation price bounce back to demand zone. Yep, gold trade. The key to everything now is waiting to see reaction from China. Yeah, I'll likely have some sort of reaction, I suppose. A lot of it is based around oil and energy, and what sort of disruption will have to distribution of oil around the world. Now, obviously, they're not the only producer. Or also, our OPEC, sorry, will how they will react to what's going on. Are they going to start to produce more barrels of oil, which would hopefully ease pressure on supply, and therefore the price may not spike as much as what people may have predicted. But for oil, look at that. I mean, I heard a economist say yesterday or Wednesday that he had taken a fair position of his gold longs out and moved it into oil. And I'm pretty sure and that was a few days back. We're talking about when it was about $67 or something. Less than that even. Pretty sure he'd be laughing right now. A lot of it is to do with energy and oil. Obviously, without oil, then nothing happens. I mean, the world relies on oil. Offline, you're looking for longs on GJ. Yeah, just patiently wait for a closure above. Based on fair value. Okay, fair enough. As you probably already know, I don't trade fair value apps. So a lot will could likely happen over the weekend. So what that would mean is expect some crazy things to happen on Monday. When it comes to session opens, I will not be surprised if there's a massive gap on the precious metals. On the majors, the gap would be likely to the downside if the news doesn't improve at all. So it's going to be an interesting time, to be honest. And not a good one, because no one wants it to escalate, to be honest. It's never a good thing. And the unfortunate thing is it's decided by a handful of people, all this shit around the world. And that also leads to people having a very strong opinion and being against certain groups of people and things like that. And I think it's a bit unfair because they probably don't know enough. I'm not saying I do. I'm not a genius by any means, and I don't know stuff war when it comes to all this stuff, but I'm wise enough to know there's a lot more to it. Call up those are the strongest opinion usually have the least info. Yeah, correct, because they're trying to influence others, and then people are just like sheeple. They're easily influenced. So easily influenced, it's quite embarrassing, to be honest. It's time for people to wake up. It's the reality. Gold trade has been some long liquidation of gold and silver since markets opened 9 hours ago. Yeah, Hus 3 in tech. Gold 3,500 today. Look, it just depends, I believe. Obviously, it's at a resistance. Looking at technical perspective, it's at a key level. It's the daily, where the daily resistance actually starts, in my opinion, these wicks. It's also rejecting the most recent 4-hour resistance. If it starts to pop back above it though, then yes, there's a good chance it will eventually retest the all-time high. And again, a lot will depend on what goes on, because if it does escalate and escalate very seriously, then I have no doubt gold is just going to continue to push and break the high. So if you are trading later today, do have an eye on the news, whether it be Forex Factory, Financial Juice, or even just a Bloomberg or whatever it is. Just have an eye on something. On the go, ethnicity. Sorry. Well, I've got European background, but I'm an Aussie. I was born here. I used to be really proud Aussie, but I don't like the way my country's going. So to be honest, I don't want to be here anymore. And there'll be a time where I do pack up, shop and move to Asia. 100%, no doubt. There is no doubt. But I've got German background. I've got Polish and Czechoslovakian background. But I'm an Aussie, so the only other language I can speak a bit of is Thai. And that's the honest truth. So, and obviously I'm not Thai, but that's where my heart is. It's definitely not here in Australia. Gold trader, any news of Israel-Iran situation cooling off? Market will. Yeah, well, that's what happened last time. If you guys remember from a few months ago, I think it was, where the tension started to throw rockets and all that crap at each other, and then it cooled off quite quickly after it was, downplayed a little bit. So if it does ease, then same thing, I do believe then risk will be back on. So most of the majors will start to get a leg up. DXY will probably come down a bit. Gold will probably come down a bit. Just going to call you Hus 3, but chart wise it's also looks very clean, as if we are taking liquidation with us now. It does look very clean, extremely clean. I mean, once you break the current daily candles high, you've got clean traffic basically to the high. You've got a little bit of consolidation there, but resistance, sorry. It's going in the opposite direction to where I want it to go. So let's watch GJ as well here. So GJ, and for me it has to be 30-minute. If it is counter trend, I'll call it for you guys. I'm going to be strict with my rules though. I'm not going to take it personally. Again, I have rules to follow, and I'm also trying to set an example for my guys. Tom Smith, my TP on gold, there is none. There is no entry. Carl, it's like when you mention a trip to Thailand, I can't help but say yes. Well, it's on, mate. September. If anyone is keen. Carol, excellent. I have Slovak background. Oh, nice one. Small world. Yeah, it's my old man side. Tom Smith. So I just found you running. No, I'm not running a cell. HGSS 3408.26 to be exact. Vicky, really, not just yet. Not yet. I'll trade buying 33.85.80. We'll love to see it trade there. It would be nice for it to pull back down to that point as well. Yeah, I agree. But whether it does or not is another story, because it's in a pretty strong uptrend, so it could just create a high low and begin to flip back to the upside here. So anything could happen, obviously. We'll see. Okay, trying. Let's look at GU. Also pop back up. Let's look at EU. EU's actually still bullish, believe it or not, here on a 30. GU actually bullish on a 30 as well? Nah. Sam, sorry man, sorry, I just saw that message. I was only just now, sorry, I thought I missed it. Look, the way I trade it on the Friday, really there isn't much of an opportunity for me to sell it, because if I'm fixated on sticking with the strength of the weekly candle on the Friday. So for me, I just don't see it. And the only the only thing now, if it does pull back and reject again, otherwise you might want to see our price reacts to 34.06 and would like to trigger in if buys before it and then maybe close below it. But again, it's just from time on the charts experience. I know you are better off trading with the strength of the weekly. Jeffrey, g'day to you. I'm in a sell 34.24. Nice one. Us three, you think next entry near? Jeffrey, think go back to center. So back on. Like how you draw that line. No weakness, yeah, the preference for me is to buy it. That's for sure. Alright, GJ making a bit of a move. Again, very counter trend. You want to see the closure above, a retest and continuation. I trade GJ better on the 30. Because the fact of the matter is I don't trade GJ much at all, to be honest. And when it used to be my main focus, it was just purely the 30. I hardly ever looked at the 15. Whereas gold, I'm comfortable to know when I can use the 15 as my catalyst or when I need to wait for the 30. Hus 3 gold sell now is crazy. Anything could happen. Exactly, anything could happen. So unless you got a confirmation, I would say not to do it. If you got a confirmation, good luck. Mean that, I'm not just trying to be a smartass. No weakness, they are very slow. The charts at the minute cooling down a bit. Thought you're talking about myself. It's not wrong, sometimes I can be very slow. Not often, not for the most part. Just depends if I had my oats in the morning or not. Byron, the RNA in the market's giving me off Friday. Yeah, Friday. That's it. So true. I actually said that to my, well, not that, but I said to my mom today, it's Friday the 13th. Look out. And wouldn't you know it, shit has hit the fan. Alright, so if you're looking at GJ, definitely needs a lower wick here. It's got no lower wick. So I would preference price pulling back to tap in and then potentially look for a buy above. But again, I would wait for the 30 if you're looking counter trade on GJ here today. It's all a patience game. I cannot reiterate that enough. And the thing is, where I can prove it to my members and they can actually appreciate it more because they see that it's all good if we don't take a trade. Wait for a probable setup and they see what happens, like yesterday. Had a solid plan, had a solid confirmation, reacted, took the money off the table and said thank you very much, and went to bed not long after. GJ, yeah, so like I mentioned, well, it's got no lower wick than a 15, so to me, I'd just wait for the 30. Honestly, it's counter trend, it's in a big strong downtrend throughout the week. The structure of 30 minutes bearish, the 4 hours bearish, weekly candles bearish. The only thing you've got is the daily structure to the upside, but the counter probabilities are even bearish on that. So for me, I would prefer to look for options to sell it. Now, if it does close strong bullish here in the 30, limit order buys might be an option. Try 27 NA. What is it that you don't like about Australia? Many things. In particular, the government and the way it's run, and all the crap when it comes to taxes. You flush the toilet, you got to pay tax. You open the front door, you got to pay tax. You sneeze, you're paying your tax. You do other things. Honestly, guys, it's just ridiculous in this country. Yet the politicians keep getting pay rises, and they get a pension on top of that. When there's people struggling, I've heard so many stories of people in dire straits. Some families living in their car, and before they had it good. And yeah, some of it might be due to some bad decisions, but a lot of it's to do with the fact that cost of living, and I know it's everywhere around the world, but the taxes on things like fuel, if the government just reduced some of that, then they can't whinge about, you know, CPI being so high or whatever. They have no intent of lowering CPI. They have no intent whatsoever. It's a way of controlling the people. It's just a joke in this country. The whole thing's a joke, and people fall for it. It's no longer the lucky country. I mean, people my age try affording a house without any help these days. It's really not easy. I have a house. It's not in this country. Not in this country. They favor certain groups more, which I don't agree with as well. My mother's worked her whole life. She's still working today. She's 77 years old. She doesn't get shit from them. I work hard. I make a pretty good living, but I have to pay fortune in taxes, and I don't agree with it. And there's ways to obviously get around it legally. And that elbow prick. The guy can't even speak English. He is such a drop kick. He's the biggest flog of a leader we've ever had. It's an embarrassment, honestly. We need someone with some... Yeah, I've got to be careful. I want to piss people off, but... Look, it's beautiful, yes. Australia... Just depends what you prefer to as beauty, I suppose, but... Melbourne's quite an attractive city. The laws here are ridiculous. It's lawless. And if they think bringing a machete ban's going to stop all the crime and all the bloody youth attacks and that, it's not going to do shit. They just got to lock these idiots up and put them away. Put them away. Completely treat them like an adult. Trial them like an adult. Because they're just going to use another weapon. And the reality is, they get locked up. Don't do it again. And until they actually murder some innocent victim, and even then, they get off on being underage, being mentally impaired, or... What a joke. What a joke. Such a joke. You used to be able to walk around streets all times of the day. Even at night. You used to be able to leave your door unlocked. I remember those years. Can't do that at all anymore in this country. Honestly. There is no way. I'm grateful my son is not here. He's overseas, because it's a lot better where he is than what is here. I never ever used to see so many druggies in my area. Never. And it's an affluent area in a city. And somehow they've made their way here as well. Maybe it's people with money who've got nothing better to do, because they know in this country you get away with it. I'd be so much more harsh. You stuff up, you get put away. Daily chart on gold. Alright, what am I looking at? Tapped into resistance and rejecting. Jay, for that gold downside is not going to last long. Overall buyers personally. Yeah, I agree. So I'm more concerned, or more interested, not concerned. More interested in looking for buyers as well. Alright, GJ, so 7 minutes. I will give you guys a signal if I see fit, but personally I'm not counter trend trading it on the Friday. It's been a big strong downtrend throughout the week. So I'm just waiting for that. Just like Kenya, Mary. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Matthew, exactly the same as UK. UK has fallen. It's the same shit, man. A lot of people realizing it and trying to move as well. Byron, there is no difference between the Kardashians and government officials these days. Politicians getting paid for just existing. It's a shame. It is. In fact, Kardashians at least are more entertaining. So, you know, fuck it. Excuse the language. Let's vote Kim for Prime Minister of Australia, even though she's not from here. At least to be more entertaining. Buy gold sellers, TMZ. Gold trader, lived in Sydney, had my trading account with Macquarie Bank. They were good guys. Macquarie Bank, yeah, I don't trust banks. Don't trust them at all. That's another thing here. You want your money out? You need to give a reason. Why do you need to give a reason? Honestly, you know what I do to make them feel awkward? And again, guys, I'm not serious, so please don't take this seriously. If they queried me as to why I wanted my cash, I would just say something stupid like, I want to go to the brothel and I want to choose every single girl in there and have a good time. I'm not being serious, so please don't take it seriously. I'm not that type of guy. But I would just say something like that and say, well, why do you need to know? It's my money. What I want to do with it is of no concern to you. And the reason why, because the bank don't want to give you your money. First of all, if they don't have it, they loan it out to the next person. Cash is just IOUs. That's all it is. It's just credit. The whole system is built on credit. And as soon as there's a bank run, these banks just fail. Because they don't have the cash. It's fact. The UK is getting worse, then. Continue to sell gold. Nick trades, they tax you 50% of everything. Yeah, it's pretty much the same here. Sellers getting used as liquidity. TMZ moved to UAE, Japan or Thailand. Yeah, Thailand for me, mate. 100%. That's where my heart is. And I was saying there, you know, obviously people would have an opinion of that, like their own people probably say the same shit about the government. But they're definitely a lot friendlier bunch. And I like the way it is in regards to the laws, and they're not as precious as what we are here. Apple user UK has always been worse. Yeah, I don't know anymore, to be honest. It's no greater here. I'm being honest, guys. Get to the world's advanced countries. Japan would be a beautiful place. I honestly, I would love to at some point travel there. I'm obsessed with the food, so I'm sure I would love it. Saudi Arabia, yeah, obviously. Yep, heard a bit about that as well. Would you look for a sell 34-25-ish zone? Not sure what to call it, to be honest, but no, I'm very bullish, to be honest. Ayol Victory, what is the plan here, Chief? Well, I am preferring the buys. We are in a very strong uptrend. The weekly is a very strong bullish candle. On a Friday, I prefer to trade in line direction of the weekly candle. So for me, I need some sort of price action catalyst at a level I like to get involved. Now, all right, let's see. Let's just see if this 30 can close perhaps back above the support. Doesn't look fantastic, to be honest. The best entry point is still back above 34.30. But let's wait and see how this candle closes, and then let's wait and see how the new candle opens up. If this closes stronger on the 15, it's going to close it bullish engulfing. It's going to close it back above a 5-minute resistance. So ideally, you want it to start to pop back into this blue zone and preferably back above it. If we have a nice strong closure here, we may be able to get involved in some quick scalp buys potentially. Now again, Friday, so lower your risk, guys. In my personal opinion, that's what you should be doing. So it really all depends on when this candle closes, because we want to see the 30 close obviously back bullish. So we got just under 2 minutes remaining to see. Gold price action been trash all week. Apple user has not been fantastic. TMZ, I do read it, mate. I just go off on a tangent and get lost on as to where I'm at on the chat. I do apologize. Nick Trades, what's the best country to live in, you reckon? For me, it's Thailand, but that's for obvious reasons. I've got my son, and he actually is my son. It's not talking about someone else's, who is a obviously half Thai, half Australian. Very handsome devil, like his old man. Looks like a spitting image of what I did at that age. It's uncanny. Who I speak to on the daily, obviously, on the phone, and I will be going to see my little man as well for his birthday. The man wants gold, just like his old man. Ellie, I think it will hit 401, then back up. 401. All right, so it's definitely not giving us the right catalyst here. 401. Okay, maybe you've got a level on your broker, or I'm not too sure why you've exactly chosen that level. All right, GJ is, yeah, so even if it was for me an entry it had no lower wick, so I still definitely wouldn't have taken it. So for me, I'd just be waiting for resistance and an opportunity to potentially sell it. Nick Trade speaking nothing but facts. Yeah, it's just frustrating. And at least I get an opportunity to vent my frustration here. Not that it's going to change anything. Because the reality is people are just too accepting of what's going on everywhere. Andy, g'day mate. Everyone should just do a run to the bank. Yeah, honestly, mate. What will happen? It's been attempted a few times, but just not enough steam behind it. Anything been breaking? All right, Iran Parliament to hold emergency meeting. That was moments ago. Yeah, I'm very, very careful when it comes to banks. But now they're cracking down on anyone who sends money to a crypto exchange. It's like, well, because of safety, they say. Because just in case you're getting scammed. I've been sending money to the same freaking platform for 10 years almost, or whatever, you know, 7-8 years. What would make them think it's all of a sudden a scam? It's just any excuse not to give you your money. Any excuse to have total control of what you do with your money. That's where I just pisses me off. Matthew, this is why the banks don't want it. Yep, exactly. Just unreal. So you're saying the same thing. It's just obviously you said it before and I just mentioned it. Byron, I like also to visit Japan someday. For me, it's culture. Yeah, the people are polite. That's the thing. That's what I like about Thailand as well. I mean, not all people. Obviously, everywhere around the world, you're gonna have, you know, someone who's not the happiest. But for the most part, the culture itself is very respectful. My son has so much respect, and he knows that a kid here the same age will not listen to a word that's at all, nor will they even greet an elder or, you know, not at all. Here's your uncle. Who gives a shit? That's what it's like here. Over there, it's, they just know and they have respect. It's part to do with the schooling system and that too. Over, I know in Thailand, teachers are very well respected. Here, teachers, people just, oh man, I hate to be a teacher. I would hate to be a teacher. I'd probably lose my job and never to be employed again because I'd probably lose it and just end up in a bloody fight with one of the students or something. Echo, sell now. Gold trade Sydney Asian guys would come drop 100k in first hour. Yeah, it's pretty much the same here in Melbourne from what I remember. I've not been, actually I went a few months ago. So it changed so much, I had no idea what to do. Didn't play anything. It's funny because I'm not a gambler. I don't bet on anything. I trade the charts because to me, I have a little bit more control. Anything is possible. Could also finish 33. It could. Gee, looking good for longs. Do DNB. Yeah, it's starting to look okay. Begins to pop above that level there. You also. Yeah, you use that some 15-minute resistance. It needs to pop above that point.
Yeah, I don't like GU. So there's no upper wick on the previous candle, no lower wick on the actual candle. So I don't trust buys
No.
GU right now.
Oh, GU. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd definitely be waiting for closures. Gold trade, if you have some time, buy him some 1 kilo silver bars from Bowens. Teach him how to stack. From what's Bowens? Oh, don't worry, I've already started stacking for him. Been stacking for years now. 99.99 silver. Silver is very. There are areas for it there. Obviously, gold is huge. It is everywhere in Asia. It's a different purity though. It's funny because I watched a YouTube video of a guy trying to go into a Thai gold shop trying to sell his gold eagles, which are what, 99.95 or whatever. Pure gold coin, 1 ounce. And none of them wanted it. They just they don't buy it because it's not in Thailand. They sell 96.5% or something. So there'd be no interest for it and they don't know what it's worth. And one was claiming it didn't have the purity on it. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I know they do the silver coins. Maybe it was just that particular year, or maybe just recently I started to put the purity on there. Don't worry. He knows about money. It's the one thing that school system won't teach you, and there's reasons for that because they just want you to be in the trap, in the rat race. Bowens are in Chiang Mai. I used to live in Chiang Mai. What a beautiful part of the world it is, except for certain parts of the year when the burning season where it's just choking. The air is terrible. It's often the worst in the world for like a month or so. I know one particular street I used to live, they call it soys there. It's like a side street. I used to live off one of the main roads in a soy. And that road was just full of silver dealers everywhere. I already turned 20 pounds into 100 in 2 months because I didn't use stop loss. I lost it all. That happens, mate. I did a similar thing, but in about the space of 3 days. When I first started trading, turned like a 200 or no, I think it was 500. Yeah, it was 500, 400 or $500 account. It's like $1,300 in literally the first trade, only to lose it like 24 hours later or something. Gold trade, they quote, but sell prices every day. You can buy and sell back. Yeah, if I really want to, I could do that here as well. But again, I'm in it for the long haul, so I've got no interest in selling my silver or gold or whatever. Apple user, yep, it's shit ass at the minute, to be honest. True Blue. Do you remember I said all time this week? It was very close to all time. Yeah, still could. Angie, I'm preferring buys, but it's just shit. The markets are shit at the minute. So for me to now consider it, want this counts closed strong, and I want a weak pause on the next 15 that will close to 30 back above that level, and I've got an entry point within it. Breaks the resistance, likely hang up to that level there. Stop loss will be below 15. Likelihood of that happening is, we don't know. I mean, low probability, but if it does happen, it's a very high probability entry. Harry, scared to even trade out. Yeah, the reason is because you're not practicing proper risk management, mate. What it sounds like you've, and don't take this the wrong way, but it sounds like you're gambling. You're going in with the wrong mentality. So you need to practice proper risk management. You need to, you know, only risk a certain amount per trade. Patrick, see it coming back later to 33.50. Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to depend on obviously what comes out of, still very early into it, very a developing story. And also how the US react to it. I think that will have a massive, massive impact. Hanji, why are you going against the trend? I'm a little bit confused. Didn't I just say I'm looking to buy it? If you're telling me the trend is bearish, I think I need glasses, to be honest, if that's the case. GU, EU are better options today. Gold needs to session to sort its shit out. Yeah, majors I don't think are... I mean, GU looks a bit better. Gold trader, Alexander trades small with stop loss. Yeah, you definitely need stop losses. And you said you got it, but I'm not sure. You must have been way over leveraged. .02. So how did you lose it all, mate? You obviously, you mustn't have had a stop loss. I just can't work it out. 100, it's bearish, broke the 1 hour. I don't even know what to say. So we're bearish. Screenshot that, mate. All good, Franco. Moments where sometimes the chat just makes you speechless. Moments like these. It's entertaining though, that's for sure. So deep. I'm looking for buys. How easy do you ever do Nasdaq? I look at it, but I don't trade it. Mainly look at it because I have one of my original students who I have been coaching, or have been coaching privately for quite a while now, a couple of years, and that's a predominant pair. It's NAS. So obviously NAS is taking a hit off the back of fears of what's been going on with the Middle East conflict at the minute. So weekly is forming bearish at resistance, daily lower high, lower low. Structurally it's bullish, but off the back of the candle itself to the downside, we look for pullback sells. However, what we can see is it's tapped into a zone of interest here, support, so potentially a reversal point as well. So hence why we are potentially bouncing here, and a nice strong catalyst potentially forming as well on the 4 hour for further continuation of the support to the upside. That structure is technically bearish, but once again bouncing off some very solid support here could potentially be an option to look for buyers. We've broken a 30-minute resistance. We're not flipping any structure on the 30, but off the back of the level it's currently at and the fact that we've tapped into the daily support, I think that's a pretty strong catalyst to start looking for options to buy it. Could you be in a buy? Well, that's a catalyst just there. I don't trade it, and I would not trade it this time of day. I just don't see reason to trade it. I'd rather trade it while it's in session. Doesn't mean it can't make the move, but I would look for a buy so long as this candle pulls back. Preference would be for it to tap into this resistance, where if you really wanted to, you could potentially maybe take a small limit order or maybe a small position layer in anticipation it could bounce off that point. Stop loss has to be below that bullish candle. Cleaner entry would be back above the high though if it breaks its own high again. But again, this time of day, I would doubt the volume. It doesn't mean it doesn't move or can't move. I just never ever watch it this time of day to know. But that for me would be a nice strong catalyst. If that presented on gold just now, I'd be looking to buy it 100%. I'd be looking to buy gold. So that's my opinion of NASDAQ. Dean, yep, so just gone over that. I bought 34.80 just after it hit 35 and thought because I had decent equity it would come back. Yeah, man, that's not even a trade management plan. Sorry, mate, it just doesn't cut it. And let it be a lesson learned. You'd love to see all $80 to $100 a barrel? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. They're already using whatever excuse they can to make the price of freaking eggs. And I go through them like there's no tomorrow because it's high in protein. How you get in shape like this? Eat eggs. Mainly egg whites, by the way. Just 1 or 2 whole eggs, otherwise too much cholesterol. But it'll just give them another reason for the price to go up. Things like that. L Ghost, what are those levels marked out? So these are levels of support and resistance. So support has now more almost turning into resistance. Then we have rejected yet again. So previously when I came to the stream, that was the lowest point of the support. Tied to the closest body, which is that same bullish candle, which is now price is reacting to and tapping and rejecting. So it's holding as resistance into the upside here. The highest point of any bearish candle. Gray zones at 4-hour levels, and that's just how I go about marking up my charts. GJ, all right, what we need to see here on GJ is exhaustion. We need this candle. The preference would be 15-minute engulfing, but let's see how it closes on the turn of the hour. There's going to be an option to sell it. Gold is just not really up to much at all. It's done that for the most part this week during the London session. Blue sky, what time frame? Predominantly the 15 on gold, 15 and 30. We'll look at the 5 just to add confluence, but not really as a catalyst. My trading strategy, it's analyze, confirm, trade. So as per the name, suggest the profile name. So I analyze the charts based on various time frames, starting at the high time frame. For the overall sort of picture direction, I gather a bias, and I would prefer to trade line with the bias unless we are potentially at a key level and rejecting it, and I can maybe look for what type of catalyst I have to counter trend trade and things like that. And otherwise it's just pure price action. Price action is what provides my signals. It dictates my entries. I don't use indicators. I don't use fair value gaps. Actually, I lie, I do use the fib, but that's very differently to the way others use it. I don't use it to determine an entry point. I use it to gauge strength of a candle against the previous candle or against itself to give me a validation of on a potential impulse entry or whether or not I have to wait for another candle's close. So it's basically just price action, mate. I could literally trade like that. And like I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, in fact, at times I do. But I just don't need any zones, any lines, nothing. And I'm not saying the shit indicators and all that, or fair value gaps, or balances, or whatever you want. But for me, it's just, I don't need to use any of those because what I do works for me. So right now, price action candles here, 15-minute engulfing candle, close to 30-minute bearish in a downtrend. You could have a sell option on GJ. Fact of the matter is we need to wait just over 9 minutes. If it closed weak bullish like so, seeing we have the lower high, lower low on the current 15, I would still look to sell it as long as the new candle has a bit of an upper wick. We are in a downtrend, so I am trading in line with the strength of the weekly, in line with the bias over the 4 different time frames I analyze structure on, and well, candles is obviously on a higher time frame, and that is to the downside. So off the back of that, I could have a potential sell option on GJ. Ghost, interesting, not a problem. Skip the grocery score and have my own chooks. Eat 6 to 7 eggs a day. That's pretty good. If we had chooks here, the neighbors would go nuts. Yeah, I have minimum like 6 eggs a day, mate. Minimum. That's on a good day. To be honest, it's usually a lot more. It's up to 8 to 10 a lot of the time. But again, it's literally like maybe 1 whole egg in amongst it, or 2 max. It's mainly just egg whites. Who knows, guys? I might do some vlogs when I'm over in Thailand. I feel more comfortable there because other people do it. Here in Oz, I feel like a drop kick if I take my phone and record or go live in the gym. Everyone looks at you like, who's this hero? And I can understand because I look at them the same way. GJ popping back up here. We'll wait and see. Just under 8 minutes. Yeah, so Blue Sky, hopefully that answers your question in regards to strategy. Mikey Chan, nothing yet. But we could soon have a potential seller entry here on GJ. So that's what I'm waiting for. Gold is not giving us anything. Gold is giving us donuts at the minute. And I really don't like 15 minutes. I don't like how we are reacting at the minute to this previous support. It is holding as resistance. So for gold, for me to consider an entry, it needs to really pop and close above this blue zone here, because otherwise, I do believe we could hold and eventually maybe come back down to retest the most recent swing low. So if we close bullish engulfing above that support, so bullish engulfing here on a 30, previous candle did close a doji, but still a bearish one. That could be a decent option. Otherwise, GJ to me still looks the better of the two at the minute, if it does in fact reject a bit more again. What is going on here? How come MagicKeys has disappeared? Okay. What is the current candle's low here on GJ? 194.849. Call us now. $194.830 could be a potential entry point, but we need to wait. Mikey Chan, I can't because I run the risk of being banned on TikTok. On YouTube, I show the entire screen, all the numbers and all that. Eventually, you guys have to follow me on or sub to the YouTube channel, because when I do go back over to Thailand, I don't know if I'll be able to stream on TikTok. I had issues last time, even using a VPN. It used to bypass it and ban me. Whereas YouTube had no issues whatsoever. Like chance, so it's GJ. I'm looking here at 30. Gold rejecting again, so there we go. That's why I'm hesitant to remove that zone. Looks like we could continue bearish here. Oh, GJ, look at this. Little bit of a pause action. Is there margin to the upside? There's 25 pips. So this is a potential pause, and this is where I use the fib, so take note, have a look. The most recent move is bullish to the upside. We've got a candle potentially pausing here, closing back bearish. Now, to determine whether it's a weak or a strong pause, all I simply do is mark in a 0.382. And if it closes above 0.382, that suggests it's a weak pause. And if the following candle becomes to break the high of that candle, that likely this is just literally a pause, and price will continue in line with the actual original initial push, which is bullish. Closes below, it suggests it's maybe a little bit stronger. Wants to continue bullish, best to wait for another candle close back above and look for a potential interruption limit order buy, or a potential continuation buy above the catalyst candle. So there's a lot to think about. You probably not expecting all of you to understand what I just said, because it's just my particular strategy, the way I go about it. Pure price action. And it's not as simple as bullish buy it, bearish sell it. Strawberry Gem. Let's go to gold. Yeah, rejecting. So GJ is on the brink here, where it could almost provide a signal in either direction. Again, my bias is very bearish on GJ. Let's just watch it though. Thank you to all the new followers. Cizay, hello to you. Narindra, morning to you. BTC, so dropped a bit. Looks like it's bouncing back after, obviously at the back of the news, it took a bit of a beating. BTC is, you could almost be in an entry just now, to be honest, but you're probably best to wait for this candle to close and look for a buy on the next candle. Would be counter trend on the higher time frame, the weekly. The daily structure is still going to be bullish, but the counter probabilities are to the downside. While structure is bearish, as is the M30, so it is counter trend, but does look pretty good for it to potentially pull back. But as I've mentioned, Bitcoin around that 105 level up, it's still quite bullish, and it's pretty much at it just now. All right, so GJ, if you're looking for buys, what you want to see is a lower wick. Is first of all to close above that horizontal just here, and create a lower wick and begin to break above the bearish candle high, which is pretty much the high of the M30 either way. If it closes below, it's a bit too strong of a closure. The 50% is also okay, I suppose, but you definitely want it above the 0.382 to be of real quality. So what that will mean is you want to see a little bit of a lower wick on a new candle, stop loss below the low of this candle, buy stop the high. But let's see, it's about to close, and so far it's below the 0.382. All right, it's popping back above it. Impo, US 100, I went over it before. All right, so lower wick. And then you potentially could be looking at an entry as it begins to break the high. Counter trend. So you have to look for an entry just above. It's the hourly closure. The hourly, nice strong closure, clean trap to the left. Would be nice if it pulls back a little bit still on the hourly. Fantastic. There you go. Breaks its own high yet again. It's a pretty solid entry. So I've not even set it because again it's counter trend Friday. What would the entry be on IC markets? Let me have a look. Of that previous counter high, you're looking at 195.55 roughly as an entry point. Stop loss below previous counter's low. It's about 21 pips. So that's a potential entry on GJ. Kwan, this is pound yen, Great British pound, Japanese yen. NAS 100. So I looked at it before. So, all right. Close back bearish in the end. Again, I wouldn't trade this time of day. So bullish engulfing, you may have an entry. Otherwise, just wait for it to pull back to sell it. Big sell off the back of the news. So that is GJ, guys. Looking at around 195.055 as a potential entry. Now, if it does in fact hit that point, your stop loss, you could pretty much adjust it to just below the entry counter's low. Again, Friday, so don't go all out on a Friday. Harry, I don't trade fair value apps. I'm not holding till nothing. Vimal, like I mentioned, 195.055 is your entry point. So you're probably in. And you can now just move your stop loss to just below the entry candle. Friday full port, come on, full margin beaver, you reckon? Full margin on a Friday. So this is a trade call, guys. Let's see. Counter trend GJ, Friday buys. We buying? Just gonna to you. Well, GJ trade called. Again, it's counter trend. It's a Friday. So, again, I wouldn't go too heavy. CEO7, morning to you. Good evening from Melbourne. Go text, not sure on what train GU. I don't trade it. Friday the 13th, that is too. Flavielli. Will I go long gold? Well, gold's nothing at the minute. Gold is just golding. So, trying to come down. But all eyes on the GJ here. Just needs to break its own high, and then you should have enough to start getting towards break even. Technical analysis in gold saying to you currently. Saying to me currently. Well, GJ is pulling back, so GJ, you probably want to start to consider managing the trade. I think I had about 4+ pips on the table. All right, gold, let's see. So just adjust the stop. Gold, we're looking for, well, I'm preferring buys. If this candle closed bullish engulfing above, then the buys could be back on the table here on gold. At that point, the preference would be for the 30 to close engulfing, to be honest. But if the 15 closed engulfing, remember we are in an uptrend, so you just need a price action catalyst. That's what you'd be waiting for here. If the 15 closes, you can just now, I mean, you could move it to that point and look for the buys above. I'll just change that to buys above. Yeah, GJ is rejecting, guys. Not looking that great in a minute. Again, counter trend, so hence why it could be rejecting. So your stop loss is likely going to just be below the entry candle at the minute. Yeah, not looking good. GJ smoking. Well, it is counter trend, so like I said, it's the preferable direction is sells because it is bearish. The weekly is forming a strong bearish candle, so you need to be very careful taking any counter trend trades. You had about 4.5 pips or so on the table, 5 pips, and then rejected. So it is what it is. Oh, no. Yeah, I took a small position. Oh, man. Gold's going to play out too, isn't it? Make sure adjusting stop loss to GJ. $40. $3.9, there we go. See how gold closes as well. Well, trade gold's been great. If it closes above without making a move, it's could still provide an option. Buy gold? I thought you said it was a sell before, man. Did you not say moments ago, why am I looking to buy it? It's counter trend. I swear that's what you said.
Looking for some dual cells, but on the closure of the insert.
Oh, okay, yep.
Nice rejection.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I was a little bit cautious about this candles before, this bullish candles, without an upper wick, without a lower wick. So it was good not to think about buys. So, and we have enough margin to the downside at the end.
Yep.
I need to wait right now for a bearish, strong candle.
Yeah, it would have been quite tempting to sell the break of that candle's low as well.
Yeah, but no, for me, not how these candles are formed at the end. So without these wicks, because maybe it could be only come down to create the lower wick and then head up.
Yep, fair enough. GJ is about to be completely gone. Still hanging in there, but it's about to be taken out by the looks of it. So follow gold on the 15. And what is the high on this candle? 34, 20, 29, 34, 20, 49 roughly. So just under 2 minutes, guys. Has to close engulfing here. I'm Claudio. I'm not moving the lines. The lines remained. I'm awaiting a closure above here for an entry. It's a sell. We'll agree to disagree, my friend. All right. Have we got margin? Still got margin. It can't completely just fly now. All right, had to pull back to tap back in. Gold's going to make the move, isn't it? Have we used it patience? Oh, man, gold's gonna go. Alright, nothing much we can do about it. This entry is best above the high here. There's no limit order from consolidation. Needs to create lower wick. We've tapped in though here on the 5. It needs a low wick and you need to use that as your stop loss, because the fact of the matter is stop loss is just way too wide. It's just not worth it. You got about 70 plus pip stop loss. It needs a lower wick. Got a tiny upper wick on my broker's chart. What is the high of that candle? 5. $70 in the current candle, so you're looking about 90. 34.22, 90 is a potential entry point. All right, GJ's out, by the way, guys. I saw it just disappear. So you're looking around. What is the stop loss currently? If you're to use the current candle, it's not 12 pips, it's not great. Let's have the hourly close. Well, it's not, sorry, the hourly's still open. What am I talking about? All right, 30. All right, so this is better as far as stop loss. Because the reality is your stop loss has to be below the current candle. Otherwise, it's just way too wide to worry about it. Because your target is about 25 pips. So you got a nice strong 15-minute catalyst here. You've closed above the consolidation. You're back above some support here to the left. Got a decent lower wick. You've bounced off that previous resistance. Tapping in here. Yeah, there goes GJ. Oh well, counter trend. If you're to wait to trade with the trend, you're likely going to have an opportunity soon. Let's see. What would you need to sell GJ? Bearish engulfing, the exact same thing I was looking for before, would be ideal on GJ. So that's again the importance of trading in line with the strength of the weekly. Here's what it is. Earl Ghost. If it breaks the high, yes, potential trade. But it's very difficult to manage because the reality is your stop loss has to be below the entry candle. So there is absolutely, in my opinion, there's really no way to manage it. If it tags you in and starts to drop, there is not much you can do. So again, it has to be very low risk on a Friday. TP for me is 34.25. It's about 25 pips roughly. Sleeks, sell gold. It continues to pull back like this, it's not going to be an entry as well. Tough times. Stop loss, yeah, it's true, but the thing is, I'm not prepared to roll with the, let's just measure it. $84, 85 pip stop for a 25 pip target. So that's why the only thing I can use is the entry candle and the minute. For Khan. So it'd be the low of the entry candle. So it's not in, guys. This trade isn't in. I hope you guys realize it. So the stop loss will have to be below this candle's low. Layla, this is Gold. Yes, it is. Flavielli, not a problem. And if this closed weak bearish in a 15, that's also a pretty strong signal on the following candle. Similar to what we're looking at GJ. The difference is this is with the trend. Quickly take a look at a 5 minute. All right, 5 minutes paused as well. So would be nice if this 5 minute closes right up near the high without triggering into the trade. But in the meantime, it may trigger it in. Doing overtime on a Friday, guys. Usually I'm well off by now on a call with my team. What chart? This is Gold. Oh, so in. Here we go. Got about 5 pips on the table. There we go. Pushing slowly. 6.5 pips on the table. All right, there's 8. There's 10. Stop loss to entry. All right, so you can consider closing partials. I closed half at that first TP, which is always around the 10, especially within the range. So you had about 11 pips on the table just then. So there we go. Now it's pushing. There we go. All right. So definitely, if it hits that point, don't be greedy, guys. So I'm at break even just now. Could get taken out on the runner. And there's a win for you with the structure. So again, just goes to show why we want to trade with it on the Friday. Looking pretty good, guys. So I'd be at break even if nothing else. You got about 14 pips on the table just now. There we go. Tapping into target. And job done. So we should just wait. It's a trade line for the structure itself. Nice work. With pretty much no drawdown on that one as well, guys. So well done. Hopefully some of you took it. RBW, nice one, man. So it ends up in a pretty good week. There we go. It's about to tap in. There we go, guys. Tap in. Job done. Nicely done, guys. Well done. All right. Beautiful work. Andy, nice one. Nice one, bro. Dogen, when can you consistently make 7 figures? Please come back to me. Gold trader. Guys, just be friendly. No hate in this chat. We're all here. The same purpose, whether it's to learn, to enjoy each other's company and just trade together. Try not to talk smack to one another. TikTok. Does care? Do you see a sell now? No, I don't see a sell now. I was bullish the whole time on gold. I'm glad I waited patiently. And Carbot Boots, sorry, WHAP will be our TP for gold, please. Well, like I mentioned, that resistance tapping in, it's rejecting, so should have secured a fair bit of the trade at that point. XRGCP, how much did I make? Bit more than the small loss on GJ. So far for today, I'm up 0.4%, so nothing really, but still profit. So it's what's been a good week. Yesterday's trade was a really small entry because of the limit order. Like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I wanted 2 limit order positions. I only got triggered in on the first one, so I had half the trade set at that point, and that pushed 100 pips, and that was a good return even on a small entry. So it ends up being a good week with 3 wins and 1 loss. No, two losses, 2 small losses. Alrighty guys, I think that's a wrap. Yeah, so well done if anyone did take that trade. Just again guys, be wary of the fact that anything could happen. Obviously there's so much going on away from the charts. Yeah, look, let's just hope shit doesn't hit the fan and things escalate, because that's the last thing we want, to be honest. You know, so many crazy people controlling all this shit. All it takes is a push of a button. So just be careful guys. Yeah, good luck trading today into today. Don't forget we do have some high impact news to come later on for the US dollar as well. So just be aware of that if you are trading. That is a couple hours into my session. Once again, I appreciate all the support throughout the week. Once again, when we follow the plan, things go well. If we try to go against the plan, when we get a little bit burnt, and obviously it happened on GJ a little bit earlier, trying to counter trend buy it. But anyway, nice trade and definitely got more than cash back. I still got a runner in, which is 24 pips in profit on gold. Yeah, so once again, appreciate all the support guys. Don't forget to follow if you've not done so. I will be back Monday same time, no, Monday normal time, so Monday about an hour and 10 minutes or so prior to London Open. If you'd like to know any more about what I do, links are on my profile page. Once again, if anyone messages you claiming to be me, it's not me. I will never message you guys and ask you to invest in anything. You want to know more, you can message me. And if you just want to say g'day, message me. I'm more than happy. I do appreciate the fact that you guys have, you know, a bit of respect for what I do and enjoy what I do, and, you know, spend a minute or two just sending a message to say g'day. I'll always reply. Happy to be mates with you guys, the people who support me. Carl, thank you. Paul, thank you. Steve, been busy. Nice finish the week. Smash as always, mate. Won't be able to make the call today, but thanks again. All good, mate. All good. Alrighty, guys. You guys all take care. Don't forget to smash the like button. Yeah, you guys can hang on if you like. I'll hang on for a minute or two, and we'll have a quick chat. And everyone else, YouTube, TikTok, catch you guys Monday. Have a good one. Cheers, team. Bye.